Hymn 144. 144.
I'm pressing on the upward way, new heights I'm gaining every day, still praying as I onward bound. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. Lord, lift me up and let me stand by faith on heaven's stable land, a higher place that I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. My heart has no desire to stay where doubts arise and fears dismay. Though some may dwell where these abound, my prayer, my aim is higher ground. Lord, lift me up and let me stand by faith on heaven's stable land, a higher place that I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. I want to live above the world, though Satan's darts at me are hurled, for faith has caught the joyful sound, the song of saints on higher ground. Lord, lift me up and let me stand by faith on heaven's stable land, a higher place that I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. I want to scale the utmost height and catch a glimpse of glory bright, but still I'll pray till heaven I've found. Lord, lead me on to higher ground. Lord, lift me up and let me stand by faith on heaven's stable land, a higher place that I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. Lord, lift me up and let me stand by faith on heaven's stable land, a higher place that I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground.
Hymn 46. Sing them over again to me. 46.
Sing them over again to me.
Wonderful words of life. Let me more of the beauty see. Wonderful words of life. Words of life and beauty. Teach me faith and duty. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Christ the wonderful words of life. Sing a list to the loving call, wonderful words of life. Oh, so freely given, wooing us to heaven. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Sweetly echo the gospel call, wonderful words of life. Offer pardon and peace to all, wonderful words of life. Jesus, only Savior, sanctified forever. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life.
Shall I have a special song from the group? Okay.
Unothando uphakeme wena, unesisa unothando uphakeme wena. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I've proved Him more and all. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I've proved Him more and all. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. How LA, Jesus, my Jesus, how LA, precious Jesus, how LA, Jesus, my Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. How LA, Jesus, my Jesus, how LA, precious Jesus, how LA, Jesus, my Jesus, oh, for grace to trust Him more. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. I've learned to trust in Him. Shoo-be-doo, shoo-be-doo. I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. I've learned to trust in Him. for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And they that know his name will put their trust in him, for the Lord has not forsaken them. The Lord will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And they that know his name will put their trust in him, for the Lord has not forsaken them. Singing praises to the Lord, which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doing. Sing praises to the Lord. Tell the world his great works, for the Lord has not forsaken them. Singing praises to the Lord, which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doing. Sing praises to the Lord. Tell the whole world his great works, for the Lord has not forsaken them. The Lord will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And they that know his name will put their trust in him, for the Lord has not forsaken them. Singing praises to the Lord, which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doing. Sing praises to the Lord. Tell the world his great works, for the Lord has not forsaken them. For the Lord has not forsaken them. For the Lord has not forsaken them. When hope is gone out of you, when the sea ahead turns a raging bull, when all desire's gone out of you, when the storm you're in high, your eternal view, hold on to Jesus, let him in and be your light. When the dark of the age confronts you, he'll sail you through. on to Jesus. Let him in and be your own. When the fears of the world confronts you, he'll fight for you. Fight for you. Ujesu amuyangi hola. Wafela zonke zono zami. Wasithi kunamandla. Egazini lenkosi. Ujesu amuyangi hola. Wafela zonke zono zami. Wasithi kunamandla. Egazini lenkosi. Ay, 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 ay. Ay,
Good evening once again, church. It's a pleasure to be amongst you today. I was tempted to say Happy Sabbath, but I know if I had done that, you would have responded by saying Happy Sabbath again. So today for our Life Corner, we are looking at a topic we call ESG reporting, or Environment, Social and Governance reporting. I think this is a phenomenon we've been hearing about more and more as the days have been going by. It's become quite prominent in the past few years around the world, and it's also gained a lot of traction within Zimbabwe. So I want to just share a few insights about what it is that we call ESG reporting, or GRI reporting, or sustainability reporting. It comes with various names. I'll also just put a disclaimer to say that there's still a lot of debate within certain institutions or certain places around the world about the relevance of ESG reporting, but it's become quite prominent, and it seems to have gained more traction. I won't share my personal views about it, but I'm just giving you the information to let you know where the business world, or where big business is headed towards. And if you also want to be a player within the business world, it appears that this is something that we are soon to be faced with, and it can have an impact on your business interests. So, ESG reporting. What is ESG reporting? I'll just provide a definition on the next slide, which says that sustainability reporting is an organization's practice of reporting publicly on its economic, environmental, social, and governance impacts, and hence its contributions, positive or negative, towards the goal of sustainable development. So the idea behind sustainability reporting right now is that business should no longer be about the bottom line. Of course, we get into business to make money, isn't it? Or we provide products and services, and we expect a profit based on what we've provided. But then the movement right now is to say we have various stakeholders or various interests outside of our business which also need to be catered to. And so, in as much as a business is rushing to make money, there are economic impacts that need to be considered. There are environmental impacts that also need to be considered. And I'll share that in a few slides as we go along. There are social impacts. What are the impacts that the company or the organization has on its employees, on the surrounding environment as well? And what contributions is it making, whether positive or negative, towards the goal of sustainable development? So an institution, or rather what they say now is that in as much as, yes, the bottom line matters, the bottom line now needs to be partnered, or rather we now need to consider the bottom line together with these other factors, our economic, environment, social, and governance impacts as well. Since a business is multifaceted, because businesses have stakeholders. So ESG reporting assists an organization with its stakeholder management. The various stakeholders that a business has are, of course, its suppliers, its customers. These could be trade unions for the employees, its employees itself, local communities, shareholders, civil society, and the government. For example, I work for a mining company, and where we operate, one of our largest stakeholders is the local community. So we engage a lot with our local chiefs and his team. So for example, one of the mines within the group of companies that I work for, they have a project that they want to do. And that project requires them to relocate certain hundreds of people on the very area that they want to do the project that they want to do. But they cannot just move in with their muscle and remove these people. They need to engage. And one of the first people that they engaged was the chief, to get the chief's blessing and partnership. And the chief also, as an interested party, needed to make sure that his constituents were taken care of. So he needed certain guarantees from the company that these people, as they would be losing property and land, they would also be taken care of in that interest. Was the company then going to ensure that the piece of land that would be identified would ensure that these people would have homes that would be secured with title, and that there wouldn't be any future problems that would then ensue. So ESG reporting, they say, is also there to assist with stakeholder management, because there's a traditional saying that any publicity is bad publicity, but then in business, that's not true, isn't it? We have to also care about the name that rides on the business and the integrity that the business has. So if I then go on to the next slide, talking about corporate sustainability, the slides that I'm sharing are courtesy of an organization called INSAF, the Institute of Sustainability Africa. It's an institute that I work with, and this is for a training that we have done. So, corporate sustainability. This is a comprehensive business strategy of integrating environmental, social, and governance with economic and operational decisions and practices, which then requires you, if you look at the arrows up there, to measure. You have to measure, or rather incorporate within your strategy a measurement where you consider what are the goals and impacts that your strategy is going to have. Then you then have to manage the impacts and risks. So you have to then manage and identify. To say, okay, in this environment, we have a chief who is very powerful. And we need to not make the chief our enemy, but make the chief an ally, a friend, you see. And so when you then discover those goals and impacts, strategies and risks, you then manage them, and then you then incorporate by changing them, those negative impacts and outcomes, and then you communicate them in a comprehensive report. So the sustainability information, or this information that is then gathered, is put together in what's called a sustainability report. Sustainability reports the common practice now is to put them in the annual report. Companies, especially the listed companies, have annual reports. And so now within these annual reports, there's now a section on sustainability. And that's where the reporting of the activities of the company are then integrated. So, if we then move on to the next slide, looking at it contextually, what is the business context of sustainability reporting? It is a comprehensive risk management and business strategy that does not only, there's a typo there, that does not only focus on financials, but integration of environmental and social issues. It is not about collecting figures only and reporting them, but the transformation that takes place in an organization. It is a change agent. It is a business model. So there are certain metrics and measurements and standards that are used upon which an organization will then report to then show the impact that it has had over a period. It could be a calendar year or perhaps over a financial year. So, for example, a company can have CSR, corporate social responsibility, and it can have certain pillars. The pillars perhaps could be education, women and child empowerment as well, and environmental protection. And so there's a budget perhaps that's put for CSR, or perhaps the company could say maybe 0.5% or 1% of our profit before tax is then going to go towards CSR initiatives. And then you report upon that to say, okay, these are our pillars. This year we decided to focus upon this specific pillar, and we impacted the community in such a way. We built a school, or we built a library for the community, or we provided textbooks perhaps for the school. Or maybe we went upon a case study, we engaged the school authorities or the local office of the ministry. We did a needs assessment. They told us the needs that they have. And when that was done, we then provided. And we were within our budget. And perhaps this is what was remained, which is then going to be carried over into the next year. So I'll give another example just to be practical. Where I'm from, the local hospital has an incinerator which had not been working. And it was now becoming a hazardous place because hospitals, of course, manage biological waste. And that biological waste needed to be destroyed by burning. But the incinerator had been down, and you can't throw it away in a garbage dump. You can't bury it. You cannot throw it in the river. The best thing you can do is to burn it. And so the company then, as part of its CSR initiative, then said, okay, we're going to build this incinerator because it will affect not only the hospital, but the entire town or the entire community. So sustainability reporting in itself is a change agent, and it's a business model. So what are the sustainability pillars, if we consider this? First of all, economic. This relates to the flow of capital among different stakeholders and the economic impacts of an organization throughout society. So as I just mentioned, the organization could say 1.5% of our profit before tax is dedicated to CSR initiatives. How are the financials of the company also being used to impact positively amongst the community? Environmental. This relates to impacts on living and non-living natural systems, including lands, air, water, and ecosystems. There are a lot of industries. If you look at Zimbabwe right now, the areas that the country is focusing on to build the economy is agriculture and mining. And mining is highly extractive. There's a lot of, I won't say damage, but a lot of impact that is felt in communities and especially upon the land. And so as we're uprooting trees and as we are moving people away and as we are digging deep into the land, once we are done with what we've done, that place will never be the same, isn't it? And so it's necessary to then have a plan to then say, okay, with the impact that we've had on the environment, what are we going to do to restore the environment so that it continues to be a safe place, which can even become habitable or remain habitable for animals, for example. Social, this relates to impacts on society and cohesion, including their human rights. Then governance covers oversight structures and systems of managing impacts. So governance, the highest decision-making authorities within the company, such as the board and the shareholders, are they also interested in the impacts that their organization is making? So for example, at board level, you have your audit committee, and now you find that audit committees now require sustainability reporting, or there's now a separate committee which has now been created particularly for sustainability reporting. So it's a top-down model whereby from the top down to the bottom, an organization must be seen to have an interest on the impact that it has within its community. So sustainability regulations in Zimbabwe, as I said, this has become something that's gained a lot of ground. In Zimbabwe, what the law now says is that listed companies, if you are a listed company on the stock exchange, you now have to produce sustainability reports. That's in the stock exchange listing requirements. If you don't, or if you are not compliant, you can be delisted from the stock exchange. The Securities Exchange Commission as well requires that. The Public Entities Corporate Governance Act, this is the Public Entities Corporate Governance Act. That's for companies that are owned by the state or that has majority shareholding by the state. So if you're within one of these organizations, you must now produce sustainability reports. And then, of course, there's the Companies Act. It's not explicitly mentioned, but or it's not explicitly required, but the Act does recognize the function of sustainability reporting. Okay, I'll skip that, the situational analysis. And let's just look at a business case for sustainability reporting. So why does sustainability reporting assist a company? It assists with things like innovation, cost saving, brand differentiation. For example, if a company is known for certain practices in terms of sustainability reporting, it can actually help its brand. It also helps with long-term thinking and stakeholder engagement. So, for example, long-term thinking, it could be something to say, okay, why don't we consider relevant academic institutions? It could be a bank, for example. And then they maybe partner with the bank to say, every 2 years, we're willing to take 2 or 3 of your best students and take them up as graduate trainees, and we develop them to become middle and senior management over the years go by. That's something that can then be measured, and the company will then be seen as a positive player within the development of the nation and young people as well. Stakeholder management and risk management. Some of the benefits, which is related to the previous slide, it helps with internal benefits such as the vision and your strategy, managing systems, strengthening and weaknesses, employee motivations as well. Externally, it helps with your reputation and trust. It attracts capital, stakeholder engagement, and competitive advantage. So, for example, sustainability reports, they work with certain international standards. Those standards have things like questionnaires, metrics, formulas on Excel, which all are then comprehensively bound up to then produce that report. So, for example, for your human resources department, there are questionnaires that your HR department must answer. And those questionnaires are direct to the point to show how your employees are faring, if they are happy or not happy. And it's based on actual physical data, which you cannot lie about. So it's a measurement to then say, okay, why have we been losing so many employees to our competing organization or out of the country? What is it about us which makes us lose our employees in such a manner? And of course, when these reports then go to your board or your shareholders, they take an interest, and then they also then require certain things to be done by the company. Okay, so case studies as we are about to close. So the effects of a negative sustainability culture, it can lead to a staff exodus, such as this company called Exxon. There was a toxic culture And so it then resulted in several employees leaving year by year. And so without those sustainability reports, it would just be something that was taken as, it just happens. But then when you then consider those sustainability reports and you look at the employees that you've had year by year, and then you can see a steady decline, and then perhaps you then investigate to see what it is, and you see, oh, okay, we have a toxic culture within the company. What do we do? The answer might not be to fire top management, but maybe we need to inculcate a new culture by training our managers, to train them to be more managers and leaders that we require so that our employees do not feel like leaving the company. There's also this one called the Vale Brumadinho tailings collapse in Brazil. And then there's also the Diamond Mine Slimes Dam collapse in South Africa. The next slide, I'll explain one of those case studies. So in Brazil, there was a dam that collapsed. And it collapsed because securities fraud was being committed by intentionally concealing the risks that one of its older and more dangerous dams, the Brumadinho Dam, had. And they also concealed information that it might collapse. So they improperly made stability declarations about the dam. They concealed material information from its dam safety auditors. They disregarded accepted best practices and minimum safety standards. And they also removed auditors and firms that would have raised perhaps material issues or control weaknesses. And they made false and misleading statements to investors. And so, unfortunately, the dam then collapsed. But had perhaps sustainability reporting been happening, this could have been avoided. Why? Because you do not just share information that you want to share, but you share information based on certain standards. And those standards, you must accurately report upon them, or else it can become a problem. It also assists with something which we call greenwashing. And greenwashing today it's defined as the exaggeration of information or the exaggeration of activities that a company will do. So we may then lie to ourselves that, we provided vehicles and impacted the community. And then when we then investigate, we then discover it's one vehicle that was then donated. But out there we then say we donated many vehicles and we've changed the lives of the community, but it was just one thing that we provided. So through accurately reporting, we are then able to ensure that our company or our organization is seen as something that is reliable, truthful, and has longevity within the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder Timber, for reminding us that as we do our business, it's now a requirement that we do business in a way that makes sure there are people tomorrow who are happy, there's an environment, a community that can keep on going so that you don't extract all the money and extract all the life as you get the money from wherever you are getting that money in your business line. I'd just like to take this opportunity to welcome you in a special way and thank you for coming. May I just see the hands of those who have been coming since we started? Those who have been coming. Thank you. May the Lord bless you. Thank you, Mkoma Washington. You have been coming. Thank you for coming. He's one of our visitors. He's been coming to visit with us. Does a normal worship with us. So we are grateful for taking your time to be with us. He's a friend of ours. May I just see by a show of hands those who are coming here for the first time. Those who are joining us here for the first time tonight. Just a show of hands. I see our special guests today. They are called sound vocals from the UZ, who have been giving us this beautiful music. Thank you very much. I want to welcome you also in a very special way, sound vocals. Thank you for coming to bless us with some music. Do we have any who are coming here for the first time today? By show of hands. If any. Others who are not sound vocals. Okay, I know there are some who are still on their way. They try to arrange their transport, so I think we'll welcome them also at the end. And as we get into our next service, we just ask our sound vocals to come up and give us a song before. Please come up. There is only one sound vocals. So please do come up and get ready to give us a song. And as usual, we are going to have Mrs. Ngwaru giving us our mental health talk before Pastor talks to us once again in this seminar that is dealing with life, hope, and healing. Life, hope, and healing. As we worship, we also have an online audience. We want to welcome you in a very special way. And our brother Ajay in the UAE has requested that we continue to pray for him, Pastor, for his job, for his family as well. So let's keep praying for him. When we have a time for prayer, let's remember brother Ajay as well. And there are many others who are watching. Please, you can send in your prayer requests. Keep watching and stay with us until the end of the week. Today is Monday. We are here until Sabbath. May the Lord bless us and open up our ears and our minds as we listen to his word after the song from Sound Vocals.
Holy Spirit, faithful guide, you are here, you are here. As the day begins, the sun is shining bright, a beautiful day I had, but I know the devil's looking for me. I know you're watching over me, I know you guide me through the day. Holding on your promise of a comforter to abide with me. I'm counting on your power of discernment to guide me now. I'm waiting to hear the still small voice whisper me, it is well.
sound vocals. And the vocals are really sounding. May the Lord bless you. And for sure, the Holy Spirit is here.